This week's episode is talking about how we constantly are wanting to continue to develop ourselves, continue to grow and to change, and that is in every aspect of our lives. If you're listening to this podcast, that's the whole premise. But I do also want to take a second to mention, like, there is also a time to take a step back and not continue to just push forward and push forward and push forward blindly, but to take a second to reflect on how far that you've come in your own development, in your own growth, and also to assess how things are going so far. Because it's two different things to continue to grow and want that growth, which I am obviously a huge spokesperson for. But it's also another thing to just continue to move forward for moving forward's sake. To me, it's necessary to take some time to see how things have been going, to step back and really just enjoy how far you've come. Look back at a year ago, 5 years ago. How did you feel? How were you happy? Were you in physical shape that you wanted to be then versus now? Or are you in a better place now? And it's, to me, a maintain, reflect, and then plan type of stage right here. And it is just allowing for you to assess your progress and allowing you also the opportunity to be flexible with this, because what you thought may have been the best plan in the world when you started this growth might not be the best. As you find you feel you're not doing something as consistently as you would have hoped, or you're not seeing the progress as quickly as you would have wanted. And that is a whole nother topic of seeing the progress and how to get there. But that's going to be another episode that I'll dive a little bit more into that. But the flexibility piece right here, I think, is the one of the most important, because it's really allowing you to take that second and look at, okay, was there something that was keeping me from my goals more consistently than I would have wanted? And this is not a time to make excuses of, oh, I was tired all the time, so I couldn't go to the gym after work. Or, oh, I have kids, I had to make them dinner. That's fine. That's okay. But now it's at the point of, what can you change someplace else to make time for this and to prioritize what these goals are and this growth that you want is. During this is not a time to beat yourself up, to start that talk in your head of just, oh, forget this, like, shit, I messed up. There's no point in trying to start all over again. You're not starting all over again. Now you know you tried something and it didn't work. So now it's time to reevaluate and try something different to continue to pursue what you want. The other thing with this is also deadlines, not just assessing and planning for weeks, months on end. It's taking some time to reflect on these things, but also keeping it to a certain window of time. So you know, okay, this is the time I have to be able to look at the progress I've made, to enjoy that, and to plan for the next month, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, to try to continue these opportunities for growth. So positive self-talk and making a deadline are extremely important really during this time. And I know for me, a couple of the main examples of new things that I have been trying to become more consistent with in my own goals are reading and just more like meditation or breathing exercises. For me, before I started my most recent job, reading after work was when I was able to do it. I was able to do 30 minutes pretty consistently every night, usually between 8:30 and 10:30, and it worked for me. I felt I was reading a decent number of pages, keeping my mind around what I was reading and not having to go back and continue to read over and over and over again the same fucking page. I know I am a slow reader compared to many people that I know, and that's okay for me, but I found that now I can't read after work. My mental capacity by the time 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hits, that taking in new information and trying to think about it and put it into practice, because a lot of the books I read are goal setting, like personal development, hence the podcast, type of things where it's not something I get the most bang for my buck. I realized that reading out after work was going to do for me, or at night. And meditation and the breathing exercises, I would constantly come up with way too many excuses for why I didn't do it, or, oh, I'll do it after this, or whatever it may be, where in the moment and in the mornings, I was like, now I can do this. And I did this reassessment. It falls with my gym routine for me, where I take 2 weeks off after a certain program. So this is time for me to assess my gym program, what my program's going to look like. And also, this is a perfect time for me to reassess the other areas that I'm trying to improve on. So for me, the reading and the meditation. And I found, like, for a good 2 to 3 months, my reading wasn't consistent, the meditation wasn't consistent, and looking back through those 2 to 3 months, it was like, well, shit, it's because I always tried to do it after work. And some of the changes that I needed to do were waking up earlier, 4 a.m., making sure that I was up 4 a.m. so I could be to the gym at 5, so then I could come home, I could read for 30 minutes, I could meditate for 12, and with that also came the change of making sure I start my workday between 8:45 and 9 a.m., not at 8 or 8:30, because I needed that time to do what I needed to do for my own development and growth, so I could continue to move forward. Just because, again, after work was not a very positive time for me to continue these things I wanted to do right now. So it was just really like, well, shit, that's not working. How can I make it work? Because these are things that I really do want to get better at and improve on and make myself better for that. And with these adjustments and these new goals for me, I've had to make changes for my life in general. So like I said, starting work now between 8:45 and 9, and getting very religious with that, unless there's an extreme circumstance, to be able to be consistent with these things. Because obviously, shit's gonna pop up. I'm in recruiting. Like, somebody's gonna call me with a fire at 8 a.m. But most times I know when those days are, to be able to try my best to adjust and plan for those things ahead of time, so I can do my best to keep these things consistent. Or instead of not being able to do it at all, I do a shortened version of it to just get that and keep that routine and keep that practice going. But also with these other changes is lifestyle changes too. Like, now I'm going to the gym 6 days a week, which means Friday nights, if I'm drinking at all, it's not a whole lot because I want to be able to get to bed at an earlier time than 2, 3 a.m. that I did for a little while because I want to get up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. to get to the gym so then I can get my day going and it doesn't interfere with anything else that I want to do. Also, with these changes of religiously getting up at 3:30, 4 a.m., I'm asleep sometimes by 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Like, during the week, 9 and 10 o'clock, I am yawning like fucking Lion King, where Mufasa's just waking up. Like, it's insane. I never thought that that would be something that would be happening for me all the time. But this new routine, my body's telling me, like, it is night time. Like, we are done for the day. We have given everything we can. Time to pass the fuck out. So those new changes for these things have adjusted other pieces of me, and it's taking this time to be okay with that and figure out how I'm going to make the most of each day to continue my own growth, my own development, and things like that. So this is the question that I want to leave you with this week. How long has it been since you've taken some time to just reflect on your own progress? Like, honestly, remember that just because you didn't make maybe as much progress as you would have hoped, it doesn't mean it was all for nothing. It gives you an opportunity to learn about what is working for you and what you may need to change in your daily routine or in who you are and how you do things so you're able to continue this growth. And it's just really, what did you learn about yourself and about that goal or that thing that you're trying to pursue and achieve to be able to continue that and move forward with that, or maybe make a change to what that goal is. So then you're able to continue to pursue and grow. But it is also just some time to maintain, reflect, and plan. So that's it for this week's episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed my take on the importance of just stopping to smell the roses. That it is important to take some time to reflect on your own growth, to, like I said, maintain, reflect, and plan. We are really just in a world and a society that I think idolizes this constant development, this constant need for movement and growth. But it doesn't always show these things that are constantly changing with those people and those pieces of life that are moving forward, that there is a lot of change that's coming around that we don't always see right up in front of us. We need to be able to adjust and take that time to reassess and plan moving forward to continue that growth for ourselves. So I am really looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts, your feelings, and your opinions on this week's episode. Please do leave a comment, follow our social media pages at Build Your Alpha, and I hope that you guys do join us next week. But until then, take every day as a blessing, because the next is not guaranteed. So take that chance, be authentic, and always know that you are the only you.